Cuba. What awaits for us? Is the legacy of Fidel Castro still alive? Will they welcome us with open arms? Oddly, a plume of smoke hovers over the city. What does that mean? We shall see. Sail past the fort, an agent fort. Fortunately, they have not fired upon us. The statue of Christ stands on the hill overlooking the city. Pilot emerges. The ship's crew prepares for docking. Amongst the rubble of disrepaired terminals, one terminal remains, oddly named San Francisco. As the sun rises and starts a new day, juxtaposed newness is the old, decrepit feel of a city long ignored. Today, as it must.
Only thing got Cujo engines and everything else. It seems to be completely redone. None of that's original. None of that's original. Those seats are not original.
It was originally done.
Still pretty cool to me.
Yeah. Look at that piece of shit right there. Green.
Oh, it's so nice.
I said, he's a big man, got it. I would the exchange rate.
Sammy, where the hell are we?
We're in Havana, baby. We are in Havana. Looking for our tour guide, Ella V, in this fabulous square. It's wonderful. We are here. We made it.
We finally made it.
Baby, we are here. Getting
There you go. Here we go.
These street performers are amazing, aren't they?
We know Led Zeppelin.
Get your money.
Okay, my dears, first of all, welcome to Cuba. You're going to love it here. First time?
Yes.
I promise you, it's not going to be the last one. You're going to fall in love with the city. You're going to fall in love with this country. You're going to see. So very quickly before we start, some useful tips, okay? Let's talk about water. All water in Cuba is potable, but you shouldn't drink it straight from the tap. Why is that? It's not going to kill you, but it's going to make you feel like you want to die. You don't want that on holidays, right? There you go. Oh, second of all, this is Ernesto. Ernesto is going to be our own guide. He's also from tours by locals, so you're good. Okay? Perfect. So, second of all, let's talk about safety in Cuba. I know that maybe you have read on the social media that Cuba can be a little bit sketchy, dangerous. This is not propaganda at all, I promise you. Cuba is one of the safest countries in the entire Latin America. Here you can walk on the streets and no one is going to kidnap you. No one is going to snatch your organs, I promise you. You're going to be perfectly fine. Now, social media, talking about it. Do you like Instagram, sweetie? Yes. What about Twitter, Snapchat? Yes. Well, let's forget about that. Let's pretend it's 1995, even though I'm pretty sure you were not born in 1995. But let's pretend it's 1995 and let's talk to each other because this is a detox time. No internet for you guys.
We're good.
Having said that, if you really need to reach home or you need access to be online, just let me know and I'm going to make it happen. Is that okay? Yeah. Perfect. Currency. In Cuba, the strong currency is called CUC. We locals call it for short, okay? That's the currency they are going to be using at all times. No Cuban pesos, CUC. Is that okay?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
Oh, do you have to get touching here?
Oh my God. Oh, it's 16, 15 years old. It's also crazy cheap, by the way. It's crazy cheap. I'm sorry. No, wait. No. No, that's bad. I don't like that to people. I don't like that to people. I'm sorry.
I don't want that.
I got a tip from the group.
You can drink your own. For drinking in Cuba, 16 years old. So that should be good enough. That you will be. This is my husband. Hi, Michael. Nice to meet you. So do you have also no question is going to be taboo. No subject is going to be taboo. You can ask me whatever you want. I'm going to try to be as candid as possible and as honest as possible. And that's it.
Perfect. Cool.
Let's have a blast. Yes? Okay. Everyone's ready?
Everybody, Jonah.
So my dears, from now on, you are chickens and I'm Mama Hen. Okay? When Mama Hen walks, you work with me. Is that okay?
Yes.
Love it.
They're a little slower.
That's okay.
Come on, chickens.
We're in island time. And you're on holidays. That's right. Yeah. Okay, so very quickly, Ernesto, where are we?
Okay guys, so we are at the Revolution Square. It was built in 1957. The original name was the Civic Square, but after Fidel Castro's revolution triumphed in 1959, they changed the name to Revolution Square. This is the place where pretty much everything important and big that happens in the city takes place, right here. Every major city in Cuba will have a Revolution Square, similar to this one, and each one is dedicated to a different hero in Cuban history. Havana's Revolution Square is the Jose Marti Revolution Square. You get to see a statue in front of the tower right there. That's Jose Marti. Jose Marti is our national hero, our George Washington. So you have an idea who he was. The tower of the Revolution Square here actually works exactly as the George Washington Monument in DC. Has to be the tallest structure in the entire city. Well, it is here in Havana. So, this is as I said, the place where everything important takes place. We are talking about the civic parades on May Day, the military parades on the Army Day, the very famous Fidel Castro speeches that used to last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. They all took place here. Music concert here. This area,
In the parking lot?
Yes.
Yeah, this square and the surrounding avenues can host over 1.5 million people.
Wow.
So yeah.
Do you feel hot right now?
Yeah.
Imagine being here, standing up like this 9 hours.
Listening
With a million and a half. You have to.
with 1.5 million people listening a speech.
Who is that guy on the building?
I will get there.
Okay.
Just give me 5 seconds. So, in addition to the tower and the square per se, we are surrounded by the most important buildings in the government of Cuba right now. This is the symbol of the Cuban Revolution. This is the symbol of the Cuban government. Actually, behind the tower over there, we have several buildings in there that are actually the offices of the Cuban president. Our president should be there. And I say should because it's Cuba. He can be playing dominoes and drinking somewhere else. Who knows? But he should be there right now.
That's our Pentagon.
Good.
Yeah. So apart from the president's office, we also have the Council of State and Council of Ministers office back there. But in addition of that, we are surrounded by the most important ministries in the Cuban government. Do you see that building back there? That's the Ministry of Defense. Right next to it, we have the Ministry of Finances and Prices. People decide how much everything works in Cuba. Stupid people. So, right next to it, the place that says hashtag I vote, yo voto sí, meaning I vote yes. That's
For the Constitution.
That's the National Library of Cuba. Next to it, we have the first building with the face. That's the Ministry of Post Office and Communication. And the face specifically is Camilo Cienfuegos. We'll talk about him very shortly. And last but not least, we have the Ministry of Interior and the Police. And we have a big image of Che Guevara. Che Guevara, you probably have heard about him before. Camilo Cienfuegos, most likely, not that much.
My turn. My turn. Ask me.
Che Guevara, Camilo Cienfuegos. So, there's a reason for that. And Ella is better explaining that reason than me. So.
Gossip, my man.
That's the thing
Now,
we love.
this is History 101 and the Cuban version of it, but no one's talk about it. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that you all have heard about Fidel Castro, but I bet everything that you don't know that first of all, the first Sloppy Joe was not the one in Key West, but it's the one in Havana. Sorry for that. And second of all, that Fidel Castro was crazy wealthy. He was born in the east part of the island. He's not even from Havana, imagine that. So he was born in the east part of the country and his family was very wealthy. And Batista, the former dictator of the country, right? Godfather of Fidel Castro and Raúl Castro. Bam! Drop the bomb and coming home.
Did Castro overthrow Vecino?
Batista, yes,
yes,
his
okay.
own godfather.
Okay.
How come?
He's Fidel's godfather.
Yes.
Was Batista.
Batista.
I did not know that.
No one.
No one knows that. That's one of the best kept secrets that Cuba holds. And believe me, we have plenty of those. So, when Fidel was growing up, he did realize that his godfather was a maniac, a lunatic. Dude was insane. He lost it. He completely lost it. And he used to like torture people. One of his favorite tortures was to put a rat on your belly and an iron bucket above it.
What? A rat?
A rat. And an iron bucket above it. He's going to, exactly, lead it up, and the rat is going to escape. Where to?
Through your stomach.
You're the easiest place to get out.
There you go. The other thing is that dude was a master with the blue torch. He could do whatever he want on your back, and that is going to be a permanent tattoo forever. Now, having said that, the worst thing that he did to two siblings, Aide and Abel Santamaria. Who are siblings here? No one is a sibling here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you go. So just imagine, for the sake of the conversation, you're going to be a girl, okay? So you're like there, and you're a Belle Santa Maria. There you go, smile, big baby. So he took them both. He raped Aide, and then he took Abel eyeballs and fingernails, seven on the platter to Aide. Abel died, and Aide committed suicide soon after that. So Fidel Castro decided, okay, time to go. You really need to go out of here. So he started a revolution, and he assaulted the Moncada cartel, but he failed. But given that he was his own godchild, Batista decided not to execute him, but to send him to jail for a year. While this all going on, that man over there, Camilo Cienfuegos, was also creating a new process, a new revolution against Batista. Now, Camilo Cienfuegos was the opposite, the other side of the coin. See, he was very poor. He was born here in Havana. He was very handsome. That always helps. And he had to flee the country to go to Mexico because Batista was after him. Then in Mexico, he met Che Guevara. Che Guevara was not Cuban. He was Argentinian. And when they met, they became bros. Best bros. Romance in the making. Why is that? Because Che Guevara was very kept to himself, very serious, very contained. And Camilo was Cuban. You know? He was all about that. So, of course, they make a very, very good relationship. And then when Fidel Castro got out of jail, went to Mexico as well. And Camilo told Che, you know what, there's this dude from my country. His name is Fidel. He wants to invade my island. Will you join us? And Che says, yes, whatever for you, dude. So they went and met Fidel. But Fidel and Che didn't really get along. Why is that? Two alpha dogs barking at each other. But Camilo was the comic relief in the situation. So they make this relationship and they decided to invade Cuba with 82 more expeditionaries on December the 2nd, 1957. They invade and they start the revolution. By 1959, January the 1st, revolution had already triumphed. Batista fled the country with the national treasure, of course. He stole it all. And the Cuban Revolution triumphed. Now, the first time that the three of them were here in this same square, people, my grandmother was here by the way, people will not shouting the name of Fidel. They were shouting the name of Camilo. People were, Camilo, Camilo. And Fidel was like, in this day, I want to tell, Camilo, Camilo. You need to understand, Camilo. So at a certain moment, he just lost it. And he looked at Camilo and he says, am I doing okay, Camilo? And Camilo says, you're doing fine, Fidel. The phrase is stuck. That's why it says, vas bien, Fidel. You're doing fine, Fidel. Fun fact, 1959, October. The revolution triumphed in January. In October, Camilo Cienfuegos disappeared. In a plane accident. We never found the plane, we never found the remains, we never found anything. Soon after that, Che Guevara decided that he didn't really want to stay here. So first of all, he went to Congo, then to Nicaragua. Then in 1967, he told Fidel, you know what, I don't want to have a Cuban citizenship anymore. I don't want to be involved with the Cuban Revolution anymore. I'm leaving to Bolivia. And guess what?
He died.
He died in Bolivia. He was executed in Bolivia. And we didn't find the remains until 1997.
If they don't, it's okay.
Send them to America. We pay extremely high cable prices.
I don't.
$200 a month.
We haven't had cable in 17 years.
Well,
We have Hulu and Netflix.
there you go. We have never had cable. That's illegal. Or we don't have satellite.
That's the meat
It's a
market.
meat market, yeah.
Yes. That's a
So
farmer
are these
market.
people's houses? I mean,
Yes,
okay.
those are people's houses. In the same position. Very recently, the Brazilian government gave to the Cuban doctors there the possibility of ask for political asylum. They will give them jobs in their hospitals. They will get massive paycheck
In Brazil?
in Brazil, and they will become Brazilian citizens. Okay? So the Cuban government said to those doctors, you can do it, you can stay, you can get that job, but I can swear to you that you are never going to come back to this country and your family is never going to live.
Never going to live.
Never going to leave the country.
They won't be able to come
Never
back.
see their family again.
So here was the thing. There was several doctors that they talked to their family, like, I don't know, young doctors that had their mom here or their dad, and their parents says, you know what, this is your future,
Yeah.
forget about us, go for it, and live your life. But there was a lot of doctors that had their wives here, their husband, their kids. They couldn't do it.
But some did and some didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most of the people return because if you live like that, you are never ever coming back. You understand that?
Yeah.
You are never ever going to see your family again. Doesn't matter what, which circumstances. And there's a lot of Cubans like that living in Miami. That's why Marco Rubio has so much power in Miami. Because do you know who Marcos Rubio is? He has all that power in Miami because he always reached to those Cubans that are so resentful towards the Cuban government because they have never been able to come back. They have never been able to see their families again. Because all the baseball players in the major leagues, do you like Cuban players in the majors? Yes, they cannot come back. It's illegal for them to come back. It's illegal for them to see their families.
But they're working on something now.
They're working on something
But
now.
if you go to the major leagues now, like Aroldis Chapman, your husband and I were
Yes.
talking about, just say he was to do that trend, the major league will have to pay the Cuban government a fee, and then they're
Yes.
going to have to pay the whatever Aroldis wants.
Exactly.
So it's a double whammy and it's a double hit. So.
meters, 3,300 square feet.
I have no idea. Most likely. No idea. Honestly. It's 11 square meters and it was built by Mary Welch. What is
Each floor will
She
be
wanted a full
119 square feet each floor.
There you go.
3 floors.
3 floors. So the first floor is where Ernest Hemingway used to keep his cats. You heard me right. He used to keep his cats in cradles. 50 of them. 50 of them. That's a lot of cats in that space. But he used to keep them that 50.
The first floor?
50. Yes, nowadays it's the restrooms.
Yeah,
But back
okay.
then it was cradles.
Back then it was
with
restroom,
cats
restroom.
and cats. And you know they're Cuban cats, so they're not normal. Okay, so in the second floor is where he used to have all his hunting gear and his fishing gear. And then in the last floor, a beautiful office with a telescope and everything. Magnificent. Mary Welch built it exclusively for him, and guess what? He never used it. Ever, ever. He would rather type in his bedroom. You're going to see that there's a rug in the floor. He used to stand up there and type in his machine all day long there because he needed the noises of the house to get inspired. So he never used it. Also inside the house, you're going to see several very, very interesting items. For instance, in his room, you're going to see that over the bed, there's a newspaper that says that Ernest Hemingway died in 1954. And everyone knows that that's correct, right?
I forgot. When?
He actually died in 1961 in Idaho. He committed suicide. But the newspaper says that it was in 1954. And why is that? Because in 1954 he was in Africa in a hunting trip. And then the plane that he was flying in crashed. Everyone thought that he was dead, but he was much alive. He just got burned. Okay? So this incident didn't help with his PTSD. He had PTSD because he was involved in the Civil War in Spain. And also he had OCD. So that on the top of his alcoholic problem and bipolar antecedents. It wasn't very good for him. So that's why in 1961 he committed suicide. He left the country. No, he left the country in 1960, and he committed suicide in Idaho.
Idaho. That's what
Idaho.
I was trying to
There you
think
go.
of that.
Potatoes.
So, yes. So that's why he committed suicide. But the newspaper, the fun fact, it says that he died in 1954. Also,
I love you for making this just the most fantastic 50th anniversary anyone could ever imagine. And Lori, you just outdone yourself. And I want Lori to tell a story about Ella and Ernesto.
You don't know this story.
Oh,
So,
Ernesto, you guys come up here, my friend.
no, don't get up.
I Googled tour guides in Havana because we wanted to do a pirate tour. We didn't want to do
the big tour.
So you both were on the, and so there were several others too, but we narrowed it down to the two of them. Do we want Ella or do we want Ernesto?
But they let the guys vote.
So I was just
And that was the only reason.
I know. Go ahead, you choose.
and we were just like, and so then we said, I think we sent both emails or something, you both responded, and then.
And there you go, you had
Here
to
we
go.
go, like it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
So it was meant to the two of you.
And you didn't know they were for you guys, honestly.
You guys have done a fantastic job so
Thank
far.
you.
And Batista too.
Hey, don't forget about my man Jose over there.
So my dears, after lunch, you're going to do a professional testing with Cuban cigars, 2 different brands, and Cuban rum. Is that okay? Yeah! Everyone's excited about that?
Yes.
She doesn't know who she's talking to.
Yeah, you don't know us. You know what? I'm starting to love you. No, seriously.
I'm Jordan, okay? We call it the ribs, everything, okay? They are couple, okay? Only for work, okay? And now the most important person, this is the boss of everything here. Now the different kind of recipe, the quality of the food, you know, this is Fernando, the main chef.
Thank you.
Did you catch that? They have a Raphael.
Do you like your Cuban pizza? This is what chicken eats in Cuba.
Oh my God! Tell me the secret. We have the anniversary, okay? Half century. Yes, half century. Whole wedding. Oh.
How you doing?
Yeah, it's okay.
I always say yes.
You say yeah.
Always right, always right.
It's okay, I want to sing it in Spanish. Okay?
Absolutely.
Vamos entonces con uno. Feliz aniversario. ¿Ok? Mi papá. Vamos. 1, 2, 3. Aniversario feliz en tu día. Ven, papá. Venga. 1,
Pacto Navío. What is that? That means a sailor's agreement, because it's inspired in the 19th century. The French with Cuba, they obtained an agreement. With the French, come to Cuba some sweet wine, okay? And then we return the rum inside of the barrels of that sweet wine.
Okay.
So they spending it in the sea, in the ocean, in the boat, all those months, those rum inside of the barrels of the sweet wine. So in this wine, in this barrel, they take off the flavor. For that reason, this is perfect a perfect match for that. Okay. For that reason, the name Pacto Navío is a seal of agreement. If you see the bottle, they have a compass. Okay, you have seen this one because of that. Okay, it's a route between French and Cuba. Okay, you have your table this. This is cider. Why cider? Because we like to on the cigar with this. Why is that? Because when you take a flame of this, doesn't smell. Cigar is like a whip. If you put a cigar mixed together with I don't know, honey bees, when you smoke your cigar, tastes like honey. If you on the cigar with gas, maybe they smell like gas. For that reason, we can pour around our cigar with this seed. It's a perfect flame. And we put our hands like this. You see it? And we pour on the cigar. Cohiba. Now it's trying to go up. Okay. You put your hands like this. And we start to.
So I don't pour, I just. Is that you?
We don't have wings now, but it's like this. You go like this, or you move your cider, and then you do this because they need air. And you move your hand because you can do it.
I did.
Now, if you don't have wind, you can do this.
Oh man, he's got it straight on that guy.
I think I'm doing it right. Yeah, hold on, my flame is
And keep doing this.
okay.
Because they need oxygen. Okay?
Yeah, mine,
That's why he told you to cup your hand. You gotta listen.
Look at me.
Burning me. It's burning me.
Can you do mine next?
My flame went out.
He said you'd have to keep swirling it around.
My flame
Remember the very important things.
Gracias, hermano, oíste. Dale, dale, dale. Dale, muévete. Muévete. Dale, acelera y pita. Dale, mete pie.
Solo, solito en la habitación, busca que busca de mi dolor. Wow. Quiere remedio para tu dolor. Nadie te lo hace mejor que yo. Quieres hacer tú sabes que yo no te dejo plantar. Calma, que yo voy en camino. Baby, hoy no vamos a dormir. No, baby, hoy no vamos a dormir. Que nos trae el pijama porque no me dio la gana. Baby, hoy no vamos a dormir. Baby, hoy no vamos a dormir. Baby, hoy no vamos a dormir. Que nos trae el pijama porque no me dio la gana. Baby, hoy no vamos a dormir. Si tú me llamas, vamos pa' tu casa. Quédame en la cama sin pijama, sin pijama. Si tú me llamas, vamos pa' tu casa. Quédame en la cama sin pijama, sin pijama. Si no te hablo de la llama, que siente que la llama. Como yo vine al mundo y se viste el pijama. Hoy es toque de queda, solo tú hasta la mañana. La pasamos romántica, siempre lo automático. Tocamos con manual, como dejando cannabis. Siempre he sido una dama, pero soy una perra en la cama. Así que dale pom, 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 pom. Ponle cannabis a son, 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 son. Tócate eso con mi pom, 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 pom. Te dejo el control, va a ganar los dos. Así que dale pom, 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 pom. Ponle fuego a esa son, 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 son. Tócate eso con mi pom, 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 pom. Espero tu control, si tú me llamas, vamos a tu casa. Quédame en la cama sin pijama, sin pijama.
I think everybody's in the red car.
Yeah.
Ay,
We were there last night.
That one is very famous.
Yes.
Was American Mafia. It's 1930.
We went in the Hall of Fame in there.
Yeah.
this mystifying country, the country of Cuba, both beautiful and difficult, and as we are told, complicated. We bid farewell after celebrating the 50th anniversary of Sammy and Joe, and celebrating the life of all people, whether Cubans, Americans, or anyone on this planet. This once fortified city now gives way to an uncomfortable reality. Beautiful people live here. Happy people who learn how to deal with the issues a complex society imposes on them.